Hey guys, welcome to our podcast where it has to be said. My name is Elvis.
And I'm Denise.
Babe, let's talk.
Let's talk. You got a little too much energy right now.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we're going to talk about. The energy, how was our week,
Yeah.
what we're doing differently, checks and balances, and yeah, we got stuff to talk about.
Yeah. So I actually had this topic when we first had that like 2 weeks ago, right? 3 weeks ago, where we had the air quality stuff where it was like
It was
orangey,
like 3 weeks, yeah.
right? Because I was thinking about it's not until you lack something or you're told not to do something that you kind of miss or realize how much sometimes we take for granted certain things. I think
Yeah,
even with COVID too, like when we were on lockdown, I think we realized like, wow, I took for granted being able to just walk outside, talk to people, see people, hug somebody, things like that. Like we kind of miss out. It's not until we're not able to have it
yeah,
or something stops it from like happening that we kind of miss out. And I think with the air quality check too, I'm like, wow, like it made me think about how often are we checking like our life, like the quality of the life we're living.
absolutely.
Which also tied into kind of how we were both feeling, I think, in the last few weeks too with I don't know, I'm always tired, but just with like low energy or just like I was kind of over the same routine of like all I'm doing is going to work
Yeah,
and then there was nothing more. Like that's all I had
and I
energy
was just
for.
focused on the house and the house and the house and the house and the house.
And we're both gaining weight.
Yeah,
That we're
was
both,
gaining weight.
yeah, we're. I did say we're.
No, you said we. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you did say that.
We're both gaining. There was just so many things that we were like. It was kind of like while we're doing the podcast, we're recording, we're enjoying the moment of actually recording.
Absolutely, 100%.
But then when you disconnect and then you go back to routine, it's like, man, there's gotta be something more. We
Yeah.
doing something.
Something wrong right here.
Yeah. And so here we are.
Yeah. Checks and balances just to make sure that everything is. I think we get used to the routine or the train of life. I think it's so fast um, that you kind of get caught up in a lot of stuff and you don't realize to value the little things, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
we're talking more about the little things more than anything else. And my time off in Puerto Rico when I left for Ellie, I took advantage and I bought what's the name of it again?
The
Ice
ice pod.
plunger,
The ice pod.
the ice pad pod.
Pod.
Thanks to my suegra and you that sent me some money. I
That
said,
was
you
his
know
Father's
what?
Day gift.
Yeah, let me buy myself a ice pod. And I said, let me just start doing it, right? Because I had just started the gym right before going to Puerto Rico. I was losing weight. And then I'm like, let me just start doing something additional because there was a lot of health benefits when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to the ice plunging and whatnot, which I never did in my life. So I was like, let me try it with something cheaper,
Yeah.
right? Before I invest any money
Well,
on it.
one thing about Elvis is he's a researcher.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
if he doesn't know something, he'll learn. He'll learn about it and he'll research and he'll spend time reading,
Hours, yeah.
watching YouTube. I was like, all right, I don't want to give you hours, but he spends a lot of time in when he's like something's adamant and he's sticking like, oh, I want to try this out or I want to do something. So I give him credit in that. So he researched that and
Yeah,
ordered the pod.
and not only the pod, but then I just started changing my whole entire routine based on the research I was checking online and whatnot. And I'm like, if I really want to like change, right? Because we're thinking about quality of life and what could we do differently, right? Because a lot of times I would go to sleep at 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. You would go to sleep before me, and I would just stay awake,
A
and
little
then
bit, but then I started getting into your
and my
routine
routine too. So like sleeping was all over the
because
place, and
we're usually opposite. Like
correct.
he's a night person, a night owl, I guess, and I'm a morning person
Yep.
usually. But what we found in the last maybe 2 months was that I kind of started becoming like I was up at night,
Yeah.
um, on the phone because it wasn't like we were doing anything productive, like on the
No, I was on
phone
the phone
or
doing nothing.
watching TV and
Not, I don't even think as much watching
right, but
TV.
it was just like on
It
the
was
phone.
more the phone, and it's almost like you just stay stuck there.
Yeah, and then it became harder for me to wake up in the morning. I'm like,
With
wait.
all the thoughts of everything you were looking at
I'm
too.
like, babe, like something's up because I'm usually up and then little by little I just started waking up literally with just enough time to get ready and be out.
Yeah.
And then Elvis was like, "Nah, we gotta change this."
Yeah. So going back to the plunger, the ice plunge, I was very excited of getting it. The first thing that I changed was I wanted to wake up very early, so I'm waking up at
Mm-hmm.
6 in the morning or 6:30 in the morning, and you're probably like, "Oh, you crazy?" Like how you just skip doing that
Well, for some
and
people
doing the
that's late because there's people
yeah.
that are
There's
up
people that get
earlier.
up very early, but for me that was a goal. That was an accomplishment
Yeah.
to be able to wake up without an alarm, right? Because a lot of these days I don't even wait for the alarm. I'm already awake. So
I don't
uh,
have an alarm either.
you don't wake up.
I just wait for you to tap me like
So yeah, you kind of awake, and so I wanted to go asleep also in a reasonable time
yeah.
too. So like 11 o'clock, or at least by 10:30, be in bed and wake up to at least have 7 hours of sleep, right? Um, and when I wake up, I didn't want to just go to my phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing I would do when I wake up is usually get black coffee and be at my phone. And I said, why would I want to wake up at 6:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning to be on the phone when I was already in the phone in the night before
Mm-hmm.
going to sleep?
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was wake up as early, right? My goal was 6 to 6:30. Everybody could have a different goal. Go to sleep around from 10 to 11. If it's the weekend, 11:30 or 12. And then once I get up, um, just walk at least 15 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just get out the house, kind of breathe fresh air, get my body to wake up and whatnot. And as soon as I did that, I would just go to the ice plunge. And
Mm-hmm.
that will just wake us up. I mean, both of us,
Yeah.
it
It's been
was
officially a week
a
of
week,
us
right?
doing that.
Yeah, I mean, and especially if you do it like around that time, we're in the plunge around 7, right? Around that time, by the time we walk,
Yeah.
well, when you join me walking, because she started joining me walking 3 days, and then after that, I don't know what happened. But that's a different
I need to be
conversation.
asleep by a certain time. Like Denise needs the same amount of sleep every time. I need consistency. And like for example,
So
today
do it, Denise.
today I'm gonna end up going to sleep late. So it's
Do it.
gonna be a little hard to
The
wake up
crazy
in the
part,
morning.
I'm going to sleep late, and I'm still doing this, and I'm not even taking naps in
But
the
I don't
daytime.
function that way. I function with having my nice I like my nice 7. If I could have 8 hours, that would be the perfect world. But at least 7 hours of
The
sleep.
crazy part is I was doing a research in that, and it's more important to actually have a structure of time, meaning you go sleep at 11 and you wake up at 6 versus having 7 or 8 hours of sleep.
But
Meaning,
that's
wait a
but that's
second. No, no, no,
still
you no,
the
no,
same
because
thing if
no,
I'm having seven
excuse me,
hours every
I'm not,
day.
no, no, but you're focusing on, oh, I want to have up to 8. No, stop focusing on the hours,
Yeah.
stop focusing on the time, and focus on putting yourself discipline
And sleeping in
to
the
a
same
certain time
from
and wake up
11.
at a certain
So if I
time.
sleep every day 11 to 6,
Correct.
that's what you're saying?
Yes. Now, if you fall short, wait. If you fall short, where
Mhm.
you don't go to sleep on time because you had to record, you had to do what you have
Yeah.
to do. Don't punish yourself by not waking up the next day because you're tired. Wake up at the
Mhm.
same time. Do not get out from the structure that you created. But again, that's a different conversation, a different
No,
time.
that's still part of quality of life.
Um,
So it's
we're doing great. We started a week together, and
I'm doing
I,
excellent.
yeah. Well, you stopped drinking coffee, right? Because you were drinking like 3 times a day
Yes,
coffee.
so I
It's crazy. People think that they're paying us or something like that to
no,
talk, but
no, I
it
genuinely
works.
I haven't I drink for those who know me, I'm a coffee person, right? So I'm having coffee in the morning with it before I leave to work. There were some days that I would go from here having a cup of coffee to go to work to have another coffee and then have another coffee after my lunch.
Yeah.
So there was days I was having 2 to 3 coffees on a daily basis, and then buying like Starbucks or Dunkin'. So on top of that, even though I have a Keurig at my desk. But anyways, let's another topic. But I noticed that since doing the cold plunging, um, I've been, I guess, more energized or not as tired by lunchtime.
Yeah.
But I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's the cold plunging that keeps me focused, right? Because that's what it helps in. But I also think it's the changing of eating.
That too. We didn't even talk about the eating yet.
So it's kind of about
Just kind
like
of going ahead. Stop talking
I'm
about
not
the
going
food.
ahead,
Yeah, let's talk about the plungy part.
but I think it kind of goes hand in hand that like instead of having a everything bagel from Dunkin', I'm having like boiled eggs or whatever at home, or even the avocado toast, which we also tried for the first time this week too, and
It's
we're
great. Yeah, it's great.
like it's crack.
Yeah.
Um, so all those things kind of are important for a quality of life. I think that we get so stuck in the routine of the 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, whatever shift you work, and then that's all we do.
Yeah, we don't take care of ourselves half of the
Mm-hmm.
time. We take care of others or our job or our situation or our school or our kids, but we never take time to really study. Okay, what is it that I'm doing on a daily basis to improve our quality of life, right? Not only our health, but also what are we spending our time on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the objections I had was in the morning, like I don't want to just be on my phone. So
Yeah.
after my walk and after my plunge, I would get a book. I purposely had a book outside to read the book. I also had my computer from work because I wanted to be ahead at my job as
Yeah.
well. So I think that we got to take advantage of all these moments that we're kind of opening doors to be accessible to be doing, while others are probably sleeping, right? If you wake up at 4 or 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Take advantage of that time and just invest it not only on your health, not only on your quality of time, but just in things that you want to enjoy doing.
Yeah, or like things that you say for a long time we do it, right? Like people say, oh, I'm gonna read the Bible,
Yeah,
right? And we don't start implementing habits to carve out that time to read the Bible, right? Or listen to it or whatever it is. I'm just saying that because that was one of our goals too, to try to read it together,
yeah.
right? I think I don't mind doing it on my own, but I'm like, you know what? Let's do it together. Let's
It's good to
implement it
incorporate something
together
together
and kind of grow together.
and
And
don't connect to the phone.
yeah.
Like I would say, like depending on the time you wake up, give yourself until 12 o'clock. If you got to put the phone somewhere else, put it somewhere else. Obviously, if you need it for work, don't do that. Don't get in trouble. But
Yeah.
listen, don't connect on your social media. Log out if you need to log out. Like those things distract you of things that are gonna make you productive. Like you want to be productive in
Mhm.
your day by day, man. And say today I was able to accomplish so much.
Yeah. And it's not about like, oh, I have to be productive every time, right? It's good to take breaks. It's good to have that type of outlet, but it's saying like, sometimes we stick too much to our phones or too much and we get too caught up in stuff that we kind of slack in areas that we want to improve on in our
Absolutely,
lives.
yeah. Yeah, but
Um,
even in the weekend when I woke up early, you're like, wait, you're gonna wake up early Saturday and Sunday? I'm like, yeah, I got ahead of my day. Even I don't have to work, but I could just be
yeah.
up and read a book and be awake, be alive. So if you want to do that, sit down in the backyard, just do whatever you can to just enjoy. It's not necessarily that you have to be working or doing something, but just be awake, enjoy life. Life is too short for us not to value the time we're here. And that's just going back to what you were saying since the very beginning. We get caught up in the train of life when we don't realize
Mhm.
the little small things because we get so used to it,
Yeah.
right? It's almost like God and the Holy Spirit, right? When we have it so much in our church or in our life, and we're so sensitive to the Holy Spirit and being blessed and really, speaking in tongues or just being in the presence of the Lord, um, little by little that becomes normal to you and you forget that not every church or not every place they're able to experience God at that particular
Mhm.
level. Why? We're so used to that
Yeah.
environment that we forget to actually give it value.
Yeah. And I think aside from giving it value, because I think we take for granted sometimes
Absolutely.
um our body. And I'm applying it to myself because I have pending appointments that I have to do of regular checkups, nothing serious. But that goes to what I'm saying now that we shouldn't wait to assess the quality of our life when something bad hits, right? So I shouldn't wait for, God forbid, not me, but I'm saying someone shouldn't wait for that diagnosis of diabetes or prediabetes to start eating healthy,
The
right?
crazy part is that
Or
we gotta wait a lot of time
I know,
to hit rock
but I'm
bottom.
saying we shouldn't get there, right? And as maturing, growing adults, we should have these conversations to kind of hold each other accountable, right? I shouldn't get to the point, and for example, for me, I'm at a point where, I mean, you don't look at it right now because I'm wearing all black, but I've been at a point, Elvis knows that I've been very like self-conscious about my body. I'm
Yeah.
about to cry. Um, and I don't talk about it. It's not like I put myself down, but for a long time, I haven't done anything
Yeah.
about it, right? So, and your body's not the same as you get older. So it's gonna cost me more, right? I could go on social media and
You can
look.
cry. Go
I
ahead.
know, but I could look at all the women on social media and I'm like, oh, she probably don't even have to work out for that body. But unfortunately, with my metabolism and my body, I have to work on it. And what is gonna cost me? Certain foods, right? Saying no now to
No McDonald's, guys. No McDonald's.
McDonald's, which is not even good for me anyway. So I don't know
Hmm.
why I like it. But it's like I shouldn't wait to get to a point where it's like, damn, I gained a lot of weight,
Yeah.
right? And people, because they see you with eyes of love and are kind, they're like, oh no, you look great. But you see yourself,
Yeah.
like you start walking and walking up the stairs and I'm out of breath and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not normal. I should be able to do 2 flights of
Yeah.
stairs daily, So it's like, we shouldn't wait to get to those moments. I mean, those moments are important because they do help give us like that push we need sometimes. But there's other people that, I have Elvis who's motivating me, but there's other people who probably get stuck on still the mentality like, oh, I'm already at this point. So what's the point? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah. But I feel like it doesn't matter what point of your life that you're
yeah.
in. You could always turn this around in
Why
your
am I crying
favor.
about my weight though?
I don't know. I guess it was really affecting you. This is the
It
first
is
time you were
because
crying. Yeah, but you put yourself on
I
the, not that I
know.
want to hammer you,
No, I
but you
know.
put yourself in that place because every time you would come with the Chips Ahoy's, the
So
Oreos,
bad.
McDonald's, cereal, and I will tell you, I said, babe, you're complaining about your weight. Number one, you don't work out, right? Which is okay. If you don't want to work out, don't
Yeah.
work out. And number
I
two,
hate
you're
working
taking
out.
all this junk. So it's like you could do the bare minimal of not consuming this food that's not real food,
Yeah, I
right?
know.
And number two, at least walk,
Yeah,
right? Walk at least 1 hour a day.
I know. I mean, I've been trying more, but there's
No,
you,
not
but
now you're
that
doing it.
my thing
Now.
is too that there's some days that I get home really late that is like, como que you don't want to do anything
That's why in the
anymore.
morning when I wake up and I go like that to you,
Like,
you just got to get up and you can get that out the way. That's why you got to start early in the morning and take it out the way. I mean, you only have one body, one life. We have to
And
take care of it.
I'm saying I'm a little chubby, not ugly. Because, people be like, oh, but you're so beautiful. I didn't say I was
No,
not beautiful. I'm
that's
just,
not the point. You could be beautiful, but inside you're not, you're not
I
doing
didn't feel
good.
healthy. I don't need
Yeah,
to
of
go to a
course.
doctor to tell me, oh, you're overweight. Like, I just didn't feel healthy.
Listen, even when you minister in church,
Mm-hmm.
you can notice when you're ministering to somebody, you get out of breath. You like,
Yeah.
I'm out of shape.
I
You
wasn't
know,
out of breath
no,
ministering.
I'm just saying, like, even on those
Like,
little
it's something
things, you
simple like
could,
that,
yeah, you
yeah.
could realize that, man, like, I gotta take care of myself. It's just going up the stairs, you're like, right? So it's like, I'm not
Okay.
saying you're getting to that point.
Excited
I'm
out.
saying that
That it gets like that,
it
yeah.
gets like that, and we shouldn't wait to get to that point. And I think this is the whole point of the video, right?
And you
It's
get
not
so many, there's supposed to be so many medical conditions because of what you eat.
go look for, do a physical. Denise is gonna do it. I did my physical recently. Everything was good. Thankfully,
Thank
everything
God.
was leveled. I'm obviously overweight, but I already knew that. I'm usually around 190, and I know I'm not on 190 right now, but I should be there in the next month. So again, just check your environment, check what's going on around you, and just sit down and do a self evaluation of time, food, what you're investing your time
Yeah.
in, what are your goals, what are your dreams, what you want to do in life. Do people know who you are, right? I mean, think about it. We're living, but people do they know what are you bringing to society nowadays?
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody got an opinion, everybody got something to say. Most people say is either white or is black, but really there's a whole bunch of things going on in the world.
Yeah.
And I want to be that little sprinkle to bring something positive to somebody's life.
I don't just want to work.
Yeah, absolutely
I
not.
want to,
But it shouldn't
yeah.
be about that.
Yeah.
That's just part of your life, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the only thing in your life.
Yeah. And I think something you said too important is you got to check yourself and your environment.
Absolutely.
Who you surround yourself with is so crucial to your growth and development and your life. Like,
Hmm.
it can cost you years, right? Not only in an intimate relationship. I'm talking about friendships, relatives, um, and coworkers. The environment you in affects you, right?
Yeah,
So you got to check yourself and see what areas are in your control to change
absolutely.
and work on, right? Because if your goal is to be, um I don't know, a millionaire? Are you surrounded by people who make money, who know
Hmm.
about investing, who know about saving, who know about entrepreneurship,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Because, hanging out with the people that are focused on just, spending and flashing and nothing that's of investing and
Yeah.
economical growth and prosperity, they're not going to get you anywhere, right?
Absolutely.
If I'm like, for example, I'm trying to lose weight, I got to be surrounded by people who like Elvis, like to work out, wants to wake up early, or like my friend Z, Senon's always like hitting me up, like, yo, like countdown to this or whatever, like to motivate me. People who are gonna motivate you and say, oh, you can do it, you'll get it done,
I
right?
think we all need a Senong in our life
Yeah.
where he texts you, yo, what's up? Like, I remember he shouted you out even in our G place. He's like, hey, listen, what's going on?
Yeah, yeah, with the
Why you
McDonald's.
gotta stop with the McDonald's? You gotta work out. There's somebody there gotta be a Senong in your life to say, hey, you said that you were gonna change.
Yeah.
You said that you were gonna drop that. You said that you were gonna drop the fries to grab the salad. Right? That's what you said. You're gonna drop the soda
Mm,
to get the bottle of water, right?
yeah.
You said that you were gonna drop, the couch to go to the gym, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you need somebody in your life and again, you probably don't have somebody right now. So reevaluate your
You gotta
circle
find
to see.
people.
And the crazy part is we're not having social with everybody. It's not like we have a whole bunch of
No, but you
friends.
gotta find your people. You
Absolutely.
gotta you gotta find your people and know that there are people there out for you, right? It
Absolutely.
may have not worked out with the people you are with now, or that you've always been, but there is possibilities, right? But I think that's also something we're working on, is surrounding ourselves with a mix of people.
Yeah.
um Again, it's all part of the quality of life, right? And me and always had did like a scale, and it talks about different things. It talked about health, your relationship with family, with friends, your work life, your volunteering. All those things are necessary and important, and it's more to life than just going to work, right? So it's about really investing in yourself and pushing the people around you. I think
Absolutely.
that's the best. And Denise is gonna continue this journey of trying to lose some weight.
Well, you're walking with me certain days. You're jumping in the plunge with me, which is allowing you to do our other things. Which, one of the benefits that it does, because I'm like, what is it doing to me, right? Besides
Hmm.
waking up, it does help you a lot with the soreness.
And
So
inflammation.
yeah,
Hmm.
the soreness. So after me going to the gym hitting hard, like I don't feel it. Like I don't feel any type of pain. So
Yeah.
which is great. So I just feel like we all have to kind of find that niche to see what works for us, and the only way we're gonna find out is just by exploring different things. We
Right.
can't we can't stay stuck in the system of where we are today. There's more out there. It's
Yeah.
just you got to put yourself out there to find out what works for you, and that the questions that we went through, it just lets us evaluate every part of our life.
Yeah, because it rated like from the level of satisfaction with stuff, and some of it was like whether you felt terrible, unhappy, dissatisfied, up to delighted, right, with it.
And it's not like a question direct, like, oh, how do you feel with work? How do you feel with your
No, it
family?
says, for
It's
example,
more about,
health, being physically fit and rigorous. So from there, you rate that from a 1 to a 7, 7 being like delighted, right? So it's more like a scaling of how you feel on that, which is good because then it kind of gives you an insight as to like, all right, so how can I get to a 7,
mhm,
right? Because I don't think in any of them we made a 7. We checked off a 7. So it's like, how can we get to that 7,
absolutely.
right? And I think kind of keeping in mind, like what Elvis said, it might not be working out for you. It might be something else. But I think we all have dreams and goals. And
Hmm.
sometimes we sit lingering,
Yeah,
right? In a complacent stage without taking one different step to try to get closer to that goal, right? So every morning that you wake up is another opportunity to start again, right? Whatever you couldn't do yesterday, today was a new day to be able to start again. Tomorrow is a new day. Any moment you wake up is another chance of life, and to make a better choice to get a step closer to where you're trying to be.
yeah. I think sometimes we don't think it's possible for
Yeah.
our dreams and our goals to happen, and I think the first step is believing that you could do it.
Hmm.
But you have to move forward. You have to make a choice. Either I stay where I'm at today and not have any progress, or I give it a shot. I give it all. Right? You may
Hmm.
take a risk. But the risk, I mean, it just outweighs the benefit of what I'm gonna get at the end.
Yeah, we got to change our habits, and it's like in everything we've spoken about in each episode, it takes work.
Work, 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 work,
It
work.
takes work. We gotta put in our part and give God the rest.
Yeah. Even in our relationship as
Yep.
well.
And everything.
In our relationship, meaning like you got to evaluate your own relationship. Like, oh, we're doing the plunge, we're walking, we're spending time together. I feel like all the little things that we're evaluating in our life has helped us grow as a couple as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like you also have to find it, if you're married, if you have a couple, find something that you guys could do
A
together
couple.
to be able, yeah, you guys are a couple, to be able to do together to grow, right?
Yeah.
Because these are moments like when I was in the plunge and then the baby went to me and she was so excited seeing
Yeah.
me in the plunge. You know, it was so exciting
Oh, and Eddie tried it
because
once too.
my oldest tried it as well. So it's like just don't take those moments for granted,
Mm-hmm.
right? You just enjoy the little things because I mean, like I said, life is so short and evaluate yourself every part of your life to see, listen, I'm like this or at this level of my family, I'm probably a 4, but I want to get to a 7. Does your family know that you want to be a 7? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Does your family know that you want to be closer to them? Right? Your job, if you're not good at your work, what could I do to have a better situation at
Mm.
work? Either I have to stay here and kind of work around the whole system, or I
Or
need
it's
to do
time to go.
something better. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So evaluate yourself, give yourself value, search for those goals and dreams, and just keep on going. Put in the work.
Yep. And you'll see, you'll feel the difference little by little. I think in this week alone we've seen it. I felt a big
It's
difference.
been great. It's
Just
been
me,
great.
honestly, guys, just me not having coffee more than the morning and then having it with oat milk. I,
I'm surprised you like that. Yeah.
it's listen, I'm a new person. I don't know. We'll
And,
see.
and smoothies, and you're
Yeah.
taking green
Keep me
smoothies.
accountable, guys. You know, share support, share areas in your life that you guys want to improve on or do
Absolutely.
differently. Because we would like to hear and interact with you guys as well.
Good talk.
It had to be said.
And it was said. Take care, guys.